Oh my God. Y'all, when I tell you that I cried through this scene between Gino and Uncle Marco, y'all, I cried.
A sweet old auntie. Thank you, subscribers to my music and reviews. All the y'all who have been here through the long haul. Shall we get into it? Oh, yes, we shall. It's time for Auntie Advice. Sweet old. It's time for Auntie's Advice. Oh, yeah. It's time for Auntie's Advice. Auntie's Advice.
90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After Season 9, Episode 13. Uncle Marco and Gino. Y'all, when I tell you that I wanted to scratch, and I mean when I say scratch Jasmine's eyes out, I don't think that there has been very many scenes that have gotten to me like this one did. Y'all, for real. In this particular episode, wait a minute, because I took my notes. Let me bring my notes. I love you too, Nina Singleton. Hi, baby. You got me live. Let me bring up my notes on this, y'all, because I took detailed notes and I just got to talk about it. So, in this scene, Gino, his uncle Marco, and a cousin go out to eat. And Gino is like, my uncle is Italian. He's been like a dad to me, he would say. And he said he wants to be positive while they eat their Italian spaghetti and sausage, right? Gino says ever since Jasmine told him that she was pregnant, it broke his heart because he was the one who was supposed to have a baby with her. And he says there's just a lot of thoughts that's going through his mind right now. He said he's been kind of lonely and he's been depressed over the past weeks. He says, but I am so done with Jasmine trying to ruin my life. He said, I need to pick myself up again, spend some time with my family, and get to myself back to normal. Uncle Marco, he said, is his dad's brother, right? And he's always been there for him. He said, even when he was younger. He said he remembers him cooking and picking him up and taking him to the Detroit Tigers baseball game, and he would take them to the stadium. And he said that was so much fun. He said they had a great relationship. He said Jasmine even asked his uncle to walk her down the aisle at the wedding chapel, and all the family did. The Zolo family. So Uncle Marco and them are sitting down at the table and they like having getting prepared to eat. You do your little appetizer, all that kind of stuff. And he was like, what's all this news I'm hearing lately? And so, of course, Gino knows what he's talking about, but just don't really want to go there. He said, I hear this news. He said, how's it going with your wife? He said, you guys have this, I heard rumor, this open type of relationship or something. So Gino was like, I was going to tell you when I found out about this. It's a lot of things that happened. And I mean, I'm talking. I'm sorry. The nephew was like, I was going to tell you about this, but a lot of stuff happened, and he said a lot of stuff got exposed at Dana's birthday party, and just a whole lot of stuff transpired, and he said it was like really intense. So Uncle Marco was like, okay, I'm sorry, where you guys at right now, Gino, today in your relationship with this open thing? And so Gino was like, well, I went to this couples therapy with Jasmine, right? So Uncle Marco was like, yeah, he fluffing his little napkin and all of that kind of stuff, right? And he said, well, after couples therapy with Jasmine, Jasmine cheated on me and spent the night with this guy's Matt's house. And so the uncle was like, who the hell is Matt? Right? He talking his talk. And so Gino was like, Matt is the guy that Jasmine wanted to have this open marriage with, which was very intense. And when Jasmine sent me a message, she says, oh, I want to urgently meet with you. Can you meet with me urgently? He said, so I went over and I saw her at the house where she was living with Matt. And she's like, I'm moving to Florida with Matt. And oh, by the way, I'm pregnant. So Uncle Marco was like, pregnant? First of all, he was shocked and was like, what? And then when Gino went on and was like, oh, and by the way, I'm pregnant, Uncle Marco was like, pregnant? What? And Gino leaned over the table and was like, she's pregnant. You could see from Uncle Marco's face that he was broken, toe down, busted, and disgusted, in shock, couldn't even figure out like where this was going. It made me hate Jasmine so much because Uncle Marco immediately got emotional. Like he was trying to do like the little cross on, like he didn't know how to respond to this. And of course, the cousin nephew is sitting across from the table, sitting in the middle in between them. So his head going back and forth like he had a tennis match. And Uncle Marco is devastated because he said that he loved Jasmine. Y'all, when I tell y'all I wasn't ready, I was not ready for Uncle Marco, y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all, I just wasn't ready for Uncle Marco's reaction. Like, I literally cried because it is nothing like family that love you and love you for real and don't think that you fake, phony, got any ill intention towards their family member. Watch Gino go back and forth to Panama to be with her, support her kids, like everything. Like Uncle Marco was done. He was literally crying. My heart was so broken. So Uncle Marco was like, "Is it Matt's?" So Gino was like, "Okay, she's pregnant with Matt's baby." And he said, after the wedding and walking her down the aisles, Uncle Marco was like, at the wedding, walking her down the aisle, she said she needed a dad, and she asked me all this stuff. The fact that Jasmine got pregnant by Matt is ridiculous. And then Uncle Matt was like, she cheated on my nephew. I was in love with her. I walked her down the aisle and I'm crushed. I feel so violated, y'all. Oh my God. Oh my God. He said, I really think about the times that she told me she really wanted to be loved by a dad that she never had. It's just that I don't know, honey. right? Because the girl is asking him, he like, I don't know, honey, I don't know, honey. I really don't know, Jasmine. Y'all, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Yo, oh my God, oh my God. I mean, we all know that Jasmine is cruddy, but to stoop to this level, to break this old man's heart like this ain't acting. Uncle Marco truly did not know. Gino set him up with the camera, probably told him we just going out to lunch and whatever, but Uncle Marco did not see this coming for a mile away. I don't know how Uncle Marco is related to the cousin in her Dana. He said, I didn't know her, baby. Honey, I ain't know her, honey. I don't know who Jasmine is. Y'all, I was so floored. I was floored. He said she cheated on my nephew, and I walked her down the aisle. He said it's so depressing for me too. I realized how she acted. She really hurt a lot of people. Gino said she ruined my freaking life. He's told Gino, he said, I could tell you hurt. And Gina was like, yeah, I'm hurt. He said, I can tell you hurt. You are hurt deeply. And Gina was like, I am. Deep. Y'all, I am not going to sit my fat butt out here and cry again. Like I'm seriously not going to cry again. But if they acted this out, Uncle did that. Because he looked like he was genuinely hurt. Gino said that he was shocked hearing it. His heart was broken in a million pieces. And he said, I was like, are you kidding me? She got pregnant by a random dude a few miles down the way at the gym. He said, so I really couldn't tell her what it was I wanted to because at that moment I was so heartbroken. Uncle Marco was like, so have you ever like tried? I mean, the cousin was like, have you ever ever tried to like write your feelings because it's hard for you to express them in person? You ever thought about just writing them down and try to get that closure about like where you guys are at in this relationship? And so Gino was like, that may be a good idea to write them down and then talk about it. Take it, and then Uncle was like, write it down, talk about it, say what you got to say, put some gas on it, and burn it up. Burn it up. And Gino was like, that's actually a really good idea because I really couldn't tell her the way I wanted to and the way I felt at that moment. And they was like, sometimes you gotta step back and do that. So Gina was like, I want to write down everything that I'm feeling and then put it in a letter and maybe I'll call Jasmine and read it to her. Gina was like, I think that that's the best thing for me to do. He said he don't want anything to do with her, but he did think that writing a letter is going to give him some closure and he can be happy again and start dating again. I don't think that Gino needs to be thinking about dating anybody. He really said that he really wants to get out of this nightmare. He said, that's all I want. And Jasmine, adios, have a good life. Uncle Marco was like, karma is a bitch, man. What goes around comes around. She better watch herself. And I'm telling you right now, she really do. She really needs to watch herself because Jasmine is a black widow spider child. So Gino is, like sitting alone. He all at his computer and stuff like that. I guess, really trying to get the letter and stuff like that together. And so, he comes to himself and he's kind of thinking some things. And he said, there's absolutely a reason that Jasmine proposed an open marriage in couples therapy. And he believes that it was to cover up the cheating in the emotional relationship that she was already having with Matt. Let me poll y'all. Do I have my thing up so I can poll y'all? I'm going to poll y'all. Let me ask y'all. Did Jasmine already had this plan? Did she, y'all? So Gino says the day that Jasmine told him that she was pregnant and that she was moving to Florida with Matt, she really hurt him. He said he was so shocked in that moment that he couldn't say everything he wanted to say. But he said after talking to, Uncle Marco and Anthony, he wanted to write this letter and read it to her and kind of say his final goodbyes to Jasmine. He says, I don't want to just send a letter in the mail or email it because there's no guarantee she'll even read the whole thing. And knowing Jasmine, she won't read one sentence of it. And he said he didn't want to do a video chat with her because he didn't even want to see her disgusting face. He said, but what he would do is read it to her on the phone at the very least so Jasmine can hear his words and that will give him some kind of closure. But then Gino said that when he looked back at all the events, he realized that there was a link between getting her the green card and the relationship that she was having with Matt. Can y'all believe that? He said when he submitted her permanent residence application, she started pursuing a man at the gym at the same time, which was Matt. He said, is that possibly a coincidence? He says, I'm not going to let her get away with this. I'm going to do everything I can. So he said part of the letter would detail everything that he invested financially in this relationship. He said he paid a whole lot of money to bring a fiance over on a K1 visa into a new country. And he said it is not cheap, and we know it wasn't cheap. And we know that that was one of the things that Jasmine was saying that she wanted as far as independence and stuff. She wanted a car, and she, kept pressing him about doing the K1 visa. Can y'all imagine that maybe she was, in fact, dealing with this guy, Matt, all the way back then? Because he did just pop out of nowhere. He said the K1 visa and her green card paper were easily cost him $10,000. He said he invested so much in the wedding. And he said, and you want to know how much I invested in this relationship? He said, yeah, Jasmine ripped my heart into a million pieces, $75,952. He said, what a waste. He said, that is pathetic that he invested so much, his heart, his emotions, his family. And he lost his cousin Dana and his wife. He lost them because last episode was the last episode or the episode before that. They sent him a nasty gram about Jasmine. And Gino said, I am determined that I am not going to let her get away with this. He is going to make Jasmine account for the money that he invested from day one. And he said he wants to hear her reaction, her voice, her emotions, and he reads this letter to her. And Gino was like, what would she say when all of this is said and done? She has no defense. She absolutely does not have any defense. And to see his uncle, be devastated like that And Jasmine talking about, this is the father that she never had. This is just it's just a sad state of affairs. I'm gonna tell you right now, the uncle broke my heart. His whole reaction, everything, just completely ripped my heart out. Let me see what you all are saying. Let me see. Um, did Jasmine already have this plan? 85% of you all said yes, while 15% of you all said no. So if Jasmine had it planned, y'all, question, when did she have it planned? Is it as Gino believes it is? And if she did not have a plan, then how to get to this? Those are my still remaining questions. Out of 26 of you all, 85% of you all believe that Jasmine planned this. And y'all know what I do too. I think that Jasmine, when Jasmine brought it up at the retreat, Jasmine already knew that she was in a relationship with Matt. If not, why would she bring it up? Why would she offer it and then turn around, boop, just like that, got a new man? It don't make sense. That Jasmine did not. So Lisa Lynn brings up something. Hey, Lisa. Lisa Lynn brings up something that Gino did at the very beginning of their relationship before they got married. If you all remember, maybe about 10 years ago. No, I'm just kidding. Some years ago, before Jasmine even got married to Gino, this came up. Jasmine indicated that Gino had her fired from her job, or some woman had her fired from the job, and that he has sent some pictures to her ex. At that time, Jasmine was not married to Gino. She wasn't married to Gino. So these things predated their marriage. Jasmine still wanted to be married to Gino. She still wanted to be here in America with Gino. So I don't understand why Jasmine did not make a decision during that vacation when she found that out. Why didn't she make a decision to leave Gino because of that? Because Jasmine had bigger goals. And that goal, in my opinion, was to get to America. I truly believe that this was a relationship built on fraud. And it is amazing because we're going to talk about Jasmine in another video. It is amazing that this woman has abandoned her kids. And any woman who, and that is my opinion about what's happening with Jasmine's kids. Jasmine has the audacity to be pregnant with a little girl. And now she's had the baby. God bless Matilda. But she is using Matilda to get ahead. She is using Matilda to win some kind of contest. Talking about people are, setting it up so that the baby don't get, like, Jasmine is manipulative and everything else. And I think that she pulled off the biggest heist with Gino that we have seen in 90 Day Fiance history. I truly do. She had an opportunity way before she married him to get out that relationship when those pictures were released. So, no, Gino made his mistakes. Absolutely, he did. But I can't imagine, just like Matt said, I can't imagine a man being so turned off by a woman who was so negative and not want to be with her physically. Because I know one thing, I don't want to be with you physically. And that's what I heard too. That I heard the same thing, that Liz is her daughter and not her sister, allegedly. I absolutely agree that that is the rumor that is out there on the street. Now, it hasn't been proven or anything like that, but Jasmine is a woman who walked away from her children, doesn't even mention them, doesn't even mention bringing them here. She's moved on to another relationship, and now here she is, pregnant with a man who is not her husband. That is the ultimate, ultimate. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Matt don't care nothing about this woman. He got trapped in this relationship with her. He even basically said it himself. I don't even, Tanya. Absolutely sugar 48. I don't feel no ways tired about her. I don't feel any sadness for her. I don't. If I had to pick between Jasmine and Gino, I would pick Gino all day long because I'm a woman and I know how a woman thinks. And this ain't the kind of stuff we just be doing unless we just trifling. And that's my opinion on it. Y'all let me know downtown in the comment section what y'all thought about this. Did y'all have the same reaction that I had with Uncle Marco? Because when I tell y'all I cried, I freaking cried. I love y'all. I'll be right back. Bye, y'all.